and welcome along and welcome back to our Seasons from Scratch Let's Play here on Felsbrunn. Now, it's quite an interesting thing. We are in a position on our farm at the moment where we've basically seeded everything we can. Our 2 fields of soybeans have not yet germinated. They've not withered. And they've not had germination failed, but as you can see, neither of them has germinated yet. So we've still got our fingers crossed that they're going to germinate. We've got a small patch where the germination's failed, but otherwise those are still good fields. But yeah, hopefully we won't have to replant those. Field 31 is coming along nicely. It's got a little bit of where it's failed, but otherwise is good. But it does mean that we actually don't have anything to do on our own farm at the moment. So what we're going to do is Field 24 and Field 4 both have contracts on them, which are slightly different. They are sowing potatoes in both of them. So we are going to take on Field 4 because it's quite a big one. We get a nice Vulture with it and we're going to try it. I did consider renting one of these myself. But if you have a look at the potato technology and look at this, it would cost £1,000 to rent this, and it is going to let's just compare this so that we can have a look. And the missions are 425 and 346. So if we were gonna sow more, then we could possibly do that, but there isn't any other sowing for that. So to make the most money, we're gonna borrow items on this. So we're gonna borrow this like that, and we're gonna pop across to the shop, which thankfully is just behind us here, and you can see our new equipment for us to take. And here we are. We have a Vulture. I think this is an N series. An N series or T. No, it's the T series Vulture. Grimmy planter and a weight. And looking at these, actually, there's quite a bit of wear on these. So let's have a look. Tractor is at 48% wear, so it will work fine. And let's turn the shuttle on. How is our planter? Hopefully none of these are going to require any kind of repairs. So hook that up. I don't think, no, we don't have any kind of bits to connect. So our planter is at 35%, so that is all fine. And lift that up off the ground, right, and then it's just the weight that we need to connect last. And again, lift that off the ground. And that actually doesn't matter what it's at. So we've got a nice white Vulture here. We're going to take this back to our yard and we're going to use our filling silo to fill this with potatoes. Now, I'd quite like to have hired the wider one. And to be honest, had we had more missions, more contracts, we probably could have. We could probably have hired this one, actually, had we had more contracts. But not having them, it's actually cheaper to do it this way. So we're going to fill this with, well, seeds, but it's potatoes going in. There we go. And it's not a huge amount, 2,040 litres. So hopefully this is not going to be too bad. Field 4 is right up the top of the map. So we're going to head up there. And hopefully we're going to get started and see how quickly we can get these potatoes in the ground and earn ourselves, well, £11,000. One of the things I love about Felsbrunn, and you can see it through the camera or the front of the tractor here, and in fact if we come out, is it's a really, really scenic map. Giants outdid themselves, I think, with this map. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I kind of think it gets a bad rap. I think one of those things is, of course, you have the basic maps, and they tend to get a lot of use in the early stages of the game. But I think it's always worth coming back and having a look at these again, because it is really quite an amazing map. And especially if you've only played the lower parts of this map, up here, up the top, with fields 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, is a really glorious area. And it's one of those things where I really considered coming up here and doing this area of the map for this series. But unfortunately, the fields turned out to be a little bit more expensive than I could. And this is where I think contracts really come into this game. They get you to explore parts of the map that you otherwise might not be because you're not based in that area. But there's quite a nice area up at the top of fields 1 and 2. To the left of field 1 and 2, which is a really good place to build a farm. So if you're looking to sort of revisit Felsbrunn, if you're looking to have another go at this map, that is a really great area to build a yard. There's sort of 3 or 4 areas I've identified that are good for it. Where we are at the bottom of field 31, as you can see, is quite a good place. Where we built our farm previously, so when we did our series here, up on, I think it's field, at the side of field 9, between field 8 and 9 is actually quite a good place to build a farm. And yeah, as I said, up to the east of fields 1 and 2 is also a good area. And you can actually see down there at the bottom of this field, in the square bit, there's a great area to build a farm there as well. So there are plenty. One of the things about this map is it's beautiful and it's got lots of bits, but it is also a great map to build your own farm on as well. Lots of good areas where you don't have to take a field in order to get it. We're about halfway through what we've got in our seeder at the moment, in our potato planter, and we are, let's have a look, we are a grand total of about 1/5 of the way through the field. So we're going to need at least 1.5 more of these in order to complete this. So that is roughly, if we call that 2,750, that is 5,500 for 2. Which is not going to be that. It's going to be 2,000, 3,000, about 3,000, just over 4,000, I think, roughly. So I think we want 4,000 liters, 4,000 liter seed pallets. So what we're going to do now is we're going to leave this going on a hired worker and leave this doing this job here. We're going to head down and switch to this, and we're going to drop off. Now this trailer holds 2,200, but we don't want to use this, so I need to lower it down. Switch over, there we go, and we're just going to drop this off. It's got stuff in it anyway. We're going to leave that on the front, and we don't have a trailer, so we need to get a trailer that we can do stuff with. We'll pop to the shop. And I think what we'll do is we're going to get ourselves a flatbed. And there's lots of options we've got with those. So we'll do that. So yeah, a flatbed and a couple of bits. Or a couple of pallets of seeds should do it. So into here and pop into the shop. And what do we have as options for flatbed? So we look at the trailers because we want something that's a little bit easy to use and work with. We've got lots of options here actually, and these metal techs are really good choices. They should give us a lot of options, as does the Strowman. Now Strowman is 8,000 for a 12,000 litre max trailer. The metal tech is wow, for 15,000. That's actually cheaper. So that's good. Now what I'm going to do is, because of how little we're going to use this, we're actually going to just, so as a bale trailer it looks like that, but we're going to just hire this 433. That is actually not too great with the back. I'd quite like it without that on, but beggars can't be choosers, and the fact that we can take this up to actually I don't like the capacity on that. Let's have a look at the Strowman here. This we can take up to 12,000 like that. That's pretty good. And we can take down to a bale loading wagon like that. It's 408 to lease it, so we're going to lease that. There we go. That's the better choice. And then we want some pallets. So those hold 2,100. That actually, Pioneer Seed pallet, absolutely brilliant for what we want, I think. Holds just the right amount for us. So, and these are cheaper, I think, these Pioneer pallets. So we're going to grab 2 of these as well, which gives us 4,200. We'll load these up onto our flatbed. And that will then fill up our cedar pretty much exactly how much we want it to, which is why these pallets are kind of ideal. I think our other pallets hold 1,000 litres each, so would hold slightly less, and I think they're slightly more expensive, the other ones. So round we go with this. We could do with a rear weight on this, because that is not great, but it'll be all right. So wait, yeah, bouncing around a little bit. Put that down and off there, and then we can get the other one on from the other side now that we've cleared the space. So round and in. We don't want to leave our hired worker going too long, because obviously it's costing us to have it running, but at the same time we need to get these pallets up there without running out of time, because this is the thing about potato planting, is it's a time-consuming operation. So if we don't keep the hired worker going, then we're not going to get it done today. And this is the last day that things like potatoes can be planted. And I don't know actually what Seasons does for a failed contract, because it's obviously something that's in the base game can't happen. It's you can't run out of time to plant something. And you can still plant at any time of year, but what happens if you plant and it doesn't germinate? Is that too late? Do you fail the contract? I'm really intrigued to find that out. There we go. Those are all strapped on. So let's get this up to our cedar up the top of the map. We've made it up to the top, and just in time as well. Our cedar is down to 5% of its seeds, so that is really good. That gives us plenty of time to get that sorted. Where's it up to? It is up to here. So I'm going to park this on the other side of the road here, and hopefully we should be able to load from the trailer. Otherwise I'll have to unload, but by the time the tractor gets up here, we'll be able to take over and finish up the road. There we go. So that is just coming to the top. Last, oh look at that, 0%. Absolutely perfect. So we're going to take control of that here, drive it up. Actually, I'm going to park these next to each other. There we are. Hopefully that should now be able to be refilled. There we go. Absolutely perfect. Taking it off the back lot. Oh wow, that took all of that. And then we get the rest of this. So as I said, it'd be 1.5 of these. So we've easily got enough in here now. And you can see by the amount of field we got left, so that we can start this up and put this down. Are we going to get a second one of these fields done today? I don't know. It is halfway through the day already, so I think it's iffy at best, seeing as we're probably about halfway through this contract at this point. Let's put that on the cruise control and take a look. Oh wow, we're not even halfway through this contract yet. So yeah, I think that we're going to get just this contract done this game day, which is unfortunate because it means we're not going to make 20,000. We're only going to make about 11. Thankfully, we didn't hire the planter. Had we hired the planter the previous day, fully hired the planter the previous day, that would have been a better thing. But we're all good. So yeah, let's crack on with this, and we'll go until we fill up next. Which shouldn't be too long, I don't think. I think I might have got my strategy for this map and my strategy for the realism experiment the wrong way round. This map, because of the sheer number of contracts that are available on it, it may have been better to have approached in the way that I'd originally planned to approach the realism experiment. So having not owning or owning the minimum amount of fields and doing a load of contract work until I get into a position where I can make a until I can buy fields and basically have the money made for me up until that point. Whereas of course on Oakfield, what the issue we've got is that there's a limited number of contracts, and I don't really want to buy the contract fields. But fields only generate stuff, only have stuff on them if you have a contract on it. So yeah, I think it might have been a little bit backward the way that we did it. Either way, I think they are valid. It is a valid strategy when you're doing start from scratch with seasons to not own any fields until the first harvest. Obviously, you probably want somewhere to put your equipment, and if you've got a map that you can buy a farmyard, I highly recommend that. Of course, on this map, there was no actual farmyards we could buy, so we sort of had to build our own. There's space for a farmyard, obviously, but it would have been a difficult one to have done there, and of course everybody starts in that position. So yeah, that wouldn't have been a good thing for here. So we'd have had to abort at least one field, but I don't think we needed to buy the 3 fields that we actually bought. I think we could have held off until the first harvest to do that. So we're a little bit over 60% of the way through the field. We've got the big bit of it done. About a third of the field to go, and I think the amount of seed I've estimated is going to be about right. It appears to be. We've got 52% left in here. We've got a load left on our trailer, which is good. Hopefully, this is going to be enough to cut it. I don't really want to go down the bottom again to refill. But it wouldn't be much we'd have to get if we do, which would be really, really annoying. So I'm keeping a close eye on it and just hoping that with 50%, we should be all right. Yeah, we should be all right. We're 80% of the way through now. We've got 15% left in our seeder. So I think we're going to make it. I think we've got enough here to ensure that we get this field complete. This vulture has worked really well on this. I know Gav won't like me saying this, but I do like these vultures. I've liked them ever since their introduction in FS17, and they're really good. Yeah, this is one of the T series, so this is one of the ones that is reversible, and I like that reversible feature on them. They really, really work nicely with that. Great for doing grass work with, as a result. I don't use them enough these days, partly because they are that base game tractor, and people tend not to respond too well to the base game tractors. I tend to prefer the modded stuff a bit more. But yeah, I really, really do like these vultures, and I'm kind of glad that I've had a chance to use one again for this, because it is a nice tractor to drive in game. I have no idea in real life. And I should probably try to arrange that, seeing as I know somebody who works for Adco. Yeah, it's a good tractor. This really nice. Well, we do not have our trailer, our seeder down. So we're down to 9%. We're gonna get this to the end. Actually, I think what we'll do is we'll get up to the top here and go and refill, because I don't think we've got enough seed in here. No, in fact, I'm absolutely sure we don't have enough seed in here to finish this field off, but what we do have is enough space in the seeder to take the rest of the seeds we have on our trailer. So let's get up to the top of the field here, lift this up, and then we'll head over here and just refill. So turn it off, drive up the side, and refill. And the rest of this should fit in here. There we go. 60% full. That should easily be enough for us to get this contract finished and get the money in. It has cost us a little bit to get this contract up and running, but it's all gonna be worth it. Almost done now. We're 98% of the way through, and yeah, I should think that we're much more than a row or two from the end. We've still got 35% in our seeder, which is absolutely perfect. Very pleased with that. I suppose it's a potato planter as opposed to a seeder. But yeah, there we go. We are almost there. Hopefully, I think this should be the last row, maybe. Just waiting for that all-important contract complete to come up. It is 20 to 8 in the evening in game, so this really, really has been. There we go, all done. This really, really has been a one-day job, a one-day contract. So my plan now is we have 32% left in here. I'm hoping that we can unload this and then complete the contract. So will it unload it? It won't unload it. That's unfortunate. So that is the trouble with these, is yeah, you can't unload potatoes. We will just double check it. Lift planter, ridge marker. No, there is no way to unload the potatoes from this. Even Control I and Shift I doesn't do it. So yeah, that will be where we leave this tractor. All I need to do is make sure that we get the remaining, that we get our contract. So let's complete this. 12, wow. Least cost, but reimbursement. We are getting reimbursed for the potatoes. Absolutely brilliant. So the reimbursement actually works in our favour. So let's collect that. And yeah, there we go. 12,301. So we actually ended up making about 8,000 on that. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So that's where we're going to leave it for this video. All that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for the latest videos and live streams from Virtual Farmer, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.